Regin, my man. Regin,
What's
thank
up?
you for coming on the podcast, first off. I was just saying before we started recording that because this is being recorded in December, we're halfway through December. We're wrapping up. It's an excellent opportunity to look back on the year that was 2025 for yourself on a personal level, for powerlifting, for the 105s in particular,
Hmm.
105s and small 120s.
Yeah.
Because we got some smaller 120s who could make 105. You've also lifted just over 105 before. There's discussions on what would happen if we had fun and did a catch weight of 110. I want to get your look back after winning junior worlds, lifting in the open, your thoughts on guys like Anthony McNaughton, Nathaniel Messiah, who you've battled yourself and will battle again in the future. We got a lot of meat on the bone, and also your thoughts on Sheffield and what you anticipate is going to happen in Sheffield with Anthony McNaughton and Keenan Lee. Now, you froze on your video. Can you hear me, sir?
Uh,
Okay. Okay, first off, let's talk about. So you obviously did open worlds and junior worlds, but your performance was a lot stronger in junior worlds. Total jacked up in junior worlds. What are some of the main differences for you? The difference between like how important was it first off for you to get a taste of the open?
I would say it was very good getting into the open, and I feel like my first experience in the open was absolutely great. I went in with the right mentality. I had a great experience. I had a semi-okay performance. I thought it was pretty decent. And yeah, I just showed up and was like, yeah, this is the future.
Mm. And so difference wise between junior worlds, which you've won now a couple times, you won best lifter at junior worlds, a very dominant junior. What does it in terms of the feel? Because some Joey Flex, who is your coach,
Hmm.
he was big on having his juniors go to open worlds to get a taste for it, to get
Hmm.
acclimatized. Alba Ballstrom, probably the biggest in terms of put her in there initially when she was still a junior star so that she wasn't rattled when it came time and she was going to be right up in there swinging for the world title. And then the
Hmm.
following year, look what happens. Alba comes
Yeah.
in, wins the open title, and Alba actually said previously, I would get rattled if there's a big showdown. I would win if there wasn't a big showdown. If it was tight, it would rattle me. And Joey's like, say less. I got to get you exposed to this. More exposure calms you down and it's less intimidating. How did you feel in terms of comparing what it's like for a junior who's been to junior worlds? Is like, oh no, I know what open worlds will be like. Is it similar? Is it not similar? Is it a pretty big difference when you see all the stars in the open?
I think it very much depends on which mindset you approach it with, because I was well aware that I wasn't going to go in and win my first open world championship. So I flipped my mindset to just have the best experience possible. Go out
Mm.
there, mingle with the open boys, like let them know who I am and get to know them. Because I'm planning on staying here for a while, right? So we can have a blast while doing it. Like powerlifting at the end is just it's me versus me on the platform, right? But then you chip another, and at the end you maybe end up on the podium or you don't. But it's all it all comes internally, right? It's a matter of what you put up as numbers. So I just wanted to go in there and I wanted to enjoy this experience, enjoy being able to be a junior, going into the open, and actually be pretty competitive.
Probably the right way to approach it. It takes the pressure off you. Like, did you
Yeah,
did you have goals in mind, or was it like I'm going to get experience? If the door opens up and I got an opportunity, I'll swing for the platform or sorry podium. If not, I'm gaining experience.
definitely. Like I had a goal of a minimum of a 920 total. And if the door was open for a swing at the podium, I would of course take it, but it was also up to the national team to decide that. We didn't end up swinging for the podium, but we did end up gunning for second place in the deadlift,
Mm,
which I missed on a unfortunate technicality, right?
mm. Yeah, yeah. And Junior Worlds, obviously you win Junior Worlds. You're very, very dominant in the juniors. We'll talk about Nathaniel in a second. But your Junior Worlds, you had Nathaniel there. So there was another competitor there, but you had an excellent performance. But what was going on? Let's walk through this a little bit because there was some excitement involved on there too.
Yeah, I heard you and Joey's segment. You did a segment after Junior Worlds talking about it. And if you haven't listened to that out there, go listen to that episode. That was great because Joey was really great at explaining what happened from the outside. But me on the inside, um, um, what happened was that I went in there. First, I did the squat event. I went 3 for 3, which was great. I hit a personal competition best on 332 and a half, which was super good because what normally determines if my water cut went really good or if my water cut went like semi bad is the squat. Because if I'm very shaky on the platform, I'm probably a bit dehydrated.
Mm.
Um, so going in there 3 for 3 gave me a whole lot of confidence going into the bench press. And I went in there and I was just like, yeah, just do as you do in the gym. Like I can touch and go like 250 now, right? So opening on 215 was not like it was definitely not a reach. It should have been a walk in the park. But I went in there, just set up, and I could just feel my feet slipping, and I couldn't get proper position, and it was weird. And I was just like, yeah, no matter what happens, I can muscle this. I racked it and I didn't get it up and I missed my first attempt. So I came out, I was like, okay, this is unfortunate, but I still got 2 attempts left. Went out backstage, I was a bit like, okay, how do I change up my technique? So I tried to twitch it a little bit, put my stance wider, and went in there again for my second attempt. And small side note, I went up 5 kilos because I was like,
Dude,
I still
that's
gotta.
huge. That's not a small side note. Like this is world championships. If you miss your opening bench of all things and go up regardless,
Yeah,
this is where things start getting very, very like contentious. Keep going,
yeah,
but this is what this gets wild.
yeah. And that was my decision because the national team coach he asked me, we should just retake it. And I was like, no, go 5 kilos up because I was in the heat of the moment. I was like, this cannot be happening to me. What is happening? So I just let my head get the best of me and I went 5 kilos up. So I went into the second attempt and tried to set up. And once I racked the bar out, it was like I collapsed. My sternum just collapsed completely. And that just threw me off. And right there, I should have just racked the bar again and tried to set up. But my
Mm.
dumb ass, I was like, okay, just get the start command. We can muscle this. So it got down to my chest, lost every bit of tension I had, and I couldn't push it. And that attempt just looked like a strength issue. Like when I look back at it, it looked awful. And I could understand why people were so worried because I got a million DMs being like, what is happening? What is happening? And I couldn't even explain it to myself. So I went out there with the pressure of missing my 2 first attempts, and the only thing I could think about is that I could not disappoint my family. I could not. They were watching. My whole family was watching that live stream, and I did not want to
Jesus.
disappoint my family or my fans or anybody that's out there supporting me. So I just tried to channel all that energy. Um, Go in there to the third attempt and just set up without thinking too much about it. And luckily, I got that third attempt. And right after I went out, it was funny because I was very relieved that I got that third attempt, so I was still in the battle. And Nathaniel just came up to me. He was like, "Good brother. game on.
Nathaniel and the British team are watching like, oh shit, I think we're about to become world champions. Like this,
Yeah.
you were this close to bombing. Was
Uh-huh.
Joey there live? I can't remember. Was Joey there live in person?
Joey was there live, and he was lying on the floor, like
Yeah.
just
Like
slamming
how
it.
how nervous and Deadlift was dramatic as hell too. Like this is such a dramatic day, but um
Yeah.
how nervous are you when you miss your first two benches? How nervous were the people around you? Because you could feel what you feel, but you're
Mhm.
right. The second attempt, you can feel that if I make these certain adjustments, I'll be okay. But on the surface, it looked like strength. And sometimes weird things happen, whether it's like the water cut or whatever, mess up a lifter. Something's going on and you can't back down. The weight has already been selected. You can't go drop the weight.
No.
Were the people, did you like reading Joey, reading the national team coaches? Were people stressed like, holy shit? What was their faces
People
like?
were stressing. People were stressing. Everybody around me was just looking, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. And I just sat down and I tried to lock in as good as possible because I think if the people around me were nervous, I was 100 times as nervous as them. Like I
Mm.
could not go out like this, right? Because came in as the favorite. And I wanted to honor me and Nathaniel's battle because outside of powerlifting, like we're really tight. Like we talk a lot, and I spend a lot of time with him in the UK. So it was like it would. Also, he also said to me, it was like, yeah, but if you bumped, how would that victory? What would that victory be worth, right? Like what would it be worth? Because it was you I wanted to beat. It was you that motivated me all throughout this prep. If you just bump, I don't have any competition.
I don't know. You know what, man? I put that in my freaking social media profiles. World Champ 2025. I wouldn't care. I would rock with it.
Yeah, yeah,
me
yeah,
personally.
yeah,
Me
yeah.
personally.
No, yeah,
But
and he should because that's on me, right?
yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, exactly. You got to execute. So you hit your third bench. Now the stress is a little bit off.
Yes.
Um, you roll into deadlifts.
Uh-huh.
How are you feeling? And walk us through deadlifts because the drama continues.
Yes, drama continues. So I go in on a pretty safe opening attempt. I think it was 337, something around there, and went in, executed really good. But when I got to the top, I could feel okay. First of all, the down commands was very slow, and second of all, I got very lightheaded.
Mm.
But I was just locking in on the first attempt, got it, three whites out to the second. I was just like, yeah, I'm lightheaded, but I can still execute, right? It doesn't matter. It's not a strength problem. It's just I'm a bit lightheaded. Um, Second attempt, the I went in on 362, which would put an efficient amount of pressure on Nathaniel to pull a little bit out of his reach. And it would still put me in a pretty good position. So I think I would beat the junior total world record once again. Uh, Went in there to the second attempt, got it up, held it for like 3, 4 seconds or something, and then got the down command. And as soon as I got it up at the lockout position, everything just blacked out, and all I could hear was "down."
Oh,
So I
you could hear.
put the board.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. No. Go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, no, no. I could just hear the down command and then just put the bar down and I could not see shit. It was just stars and darkness. I just tried to walk back and all of a sudden I just collapsed on the platform, like live. Um, and the paramedics came running and my national team coach he came running and everybody was like, oh, are you okay and what is happening and blah blah blah, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just lightheaded, I just fainted, it's not a big deal. And they were checking on me backstage if I was doing okay with the blood circulation, and if they could approve me to go and do the rest of the competition. I was just like, I need to go in and do my last deadlift. And even Joey said, like, you can do this, right? Like he needed reassurance. Um, so what they did, we just went up 7.5 kilos to 370, which would be a new junior. Well, at that time, it would be a new junior world record, and it would extend the total record even further. And it would also push Nathaniel to pull 385,
Mm,
uh, which was, I think it was like 12.5 kilos over his best training deadlift.
right. Yeah, 388.
So
Right.
yeah, yeah. Um, oh, he had to pull 388.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. 388. Okay. Anyways, went in to the third attempt. Pressure was on. I wanted this because not only was it gonna put me in a better position, it was also the lift that I pretty much only got 3 reps on at the Open World Championship because I dropped it on the way down.
Mm.
So it was like a bit of redemption for that number. Went in there, got it up, held it 3, 4 seconds, came down, and I went over there, and people were just ready to catch me. uh, First, I think it got 1 white and 2 reds, and then luckily the jury overruled it and deemed it a good lift, so it was on the board.
So what's interesting is on that second attempt when you passed out, you you saying that you went totally black even before you got the down command. So
Yes,
I didn't know that piece. And the reason why that's so interesting, you got the down command. You were holding it while still blacked out. So you can't
yes,
see anything, but you can hear things. In the fact you're still, so you're half in, half out.
yeah,
You're holding this incredible amount of weight. You get the down command, you put it down, and it's like Stevie Wonder. You can't see, you're blind. And then you walking off the platform, are you still blind? Because you are walking off the platform instinctively. I mean, you know which way to go, but is it
yeah.
literally like a blind man walking in a direction you think you're supposed to walk, and then you fall into your
Blind, yeah.
coach's arms?
Exactly as you say it.
It's
Like
crazy. That's
it
crazy,
was
man.
like that. Yeah.
That would be scary. I would literally be a little rattled. Like, what the hell is going on with me right now?
Yeah, I think just the adrenaline and all the tension that takes that pressure off of you, I guess. It's worse for me like failing. Well, it's worse for me just throwing the towel in the ring instead of just trying my best and
Mm.
failing.
And when you passed out and woke back up, were you confused? Was it like, were you out completely? And it's like
Oh,
you woke up?
I was very confused because I got over there on the third attempt and I passed out. And first thing I'm like, what happened? What happened? Did it get approved?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, and then he said, no, it didn't get approved. And he ran over the national team coach. He ran over to the jury. And then he came out, was like, yeah, it's approved. And we didn't really celebrate because Nathaniel had to try and pull his third. And that was what's going to decide the outcome.
That's right. You passed out twice
Yes,
for your third as
twice.
well. So
Yeah.
here's another. Okay. When you walk back out there for your third, after you've already passed out on your second, and that's a scary moment to literally go blind and start walking around in like a room with no lights on. And you know you're on a live stream, everyone's watching, and you're still trying to fumble your way through this. Going back out there for your third, knowing there's a very high probability it's going to happen all over again. Are you telling yourself at that point, fuck, I mean, I'm going out on my shield today? Because
Yeah.
Nathaniel, he would need uh 915 to win it as a total if you don't get your third. Nathaniel later on in the year got 915. Like, this is, you kind of sort of need to hit. People, it's not out of reach for someone to do a Hail Mary and take it from you. So you know you need this. But you also know I just straight up blacked out. It's scary. right in front of everybody. You're a blind man. You pass out. You come to. You're
Mm,
confused, and you know the probability this is going to happen all over again is extremely high. And you're like,
mm.
loaded up. I need to become a world champion today. What are you when you walk out there? Are you nervous about it, or are you like, oh man, this is
Um, no, to me that wasn't the scariest lift on the day. It was more the bench press. I think I had like the roller coaster of emotions I'd been through all day had just prepared me for that moment. So I was like, yeah, no matter what happens, I'm just gonna go out with my pride intact.
was I mean, it was one of the wildest performances people are going to see. From almost bombing out on bench press to you passing out on deadlifts and almost opening the door for Nathaniel to take it from you because you keep passing out to becoming a world champion. I mean, talk about your 2025 world title is a crazy story, man. If you're going to make a movie on somebody's performance and you want drama and you want suspense, here we are. Um, and when it was all said and done, so how would you rank this in terms of performances? Showing grit, showing because you did you get the total you wanted? Did this go obviously not totally as planned? Nobody plans the day you had. That was crazy.
No.
But how would you rank the performance and how did you feel about it?
Well, I thought about it when we talked about it earlier, that none of my performances in 2025 have I been like over the moon with. It was not like my first junior world championships. That was really, really on point with all my lifts. So I haven't had that perfect meet this year. I haven't. I feel like I've grown a lot as a lifter, and 2025 has been really, really good for me. And I've gained a whole ton of experience. And it just lights the fire inside me because I know I can do so much better. And I did not reach my goals, like my internal goals at the Junior World Championship, which was around a 930, 935 total, which was gonna put me in a even better position. So,
Well, 935 would get you a bronze medal at the Open World. That's what got Emil Norling his bronze medal at Worlds is 935. So
exactly.
yeah, 100%. 100%. What was your impression of Anthony McNaughton, Keenan Lee, the other 105s? Like Anthony had an amazing 2025 breakout year. Everybody's super high on Anthony, as they should. What is your impression of him? If you were to summarize up, I got a couple follow up questions about it, about both him and Keenan. But how would what do you think of his 2025?
His 2025 was great. Like he did not disappoint on one parameter, I think. He lived up to the hype and yeah, and besides that, he's an absolute great human being. He's very down to earth when you talk to him and my first impression was like him sitting eating goldfish and me being like, "Do you really like those?" And he's
Look,
like,
he's a real
"Yeah."
goldfish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If
Like
if it was actual goldfish,
no, no,
that's an awesome story. That makes him a legend. Okay, that's a badass, ready for battle Viking man. He's
no, no, no. It was like the small
so yeah,
biscuits
I
from the
got you. I got
USGA. Yeah,
you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well,
Mm.
did you expect his performance at Worlds though? What was your expectations going into Worlds from him?
Well, I think my expectations was just that he was gonna push the open world record as far as he could, and he extended it with what, 30 kilos? Um,
975.5. Like he had a phenomenal showing.
a phenomenal show. And the wild thing is that he still has room in the tank, right? I think there is a bit of kilos left on the bench press, a bit of kilos left on the deadlift, and he only got two attempts on squat. I think
That's
one
right.
of them got called on depth. So I'm so excited to see how far he pushes the total at Sheffield.
So, and we'll talk about Sheffield in a sec, but do you feel like this is the Anthony McNaughton era of like a Russell or he style dominance? Or do you feel like, no, this is close. 2026, we have some 105s that are going to threaten. And this is not a Russell Orhii style dominance. This is still anybody's game, and it's not necessarily the Anthony McNaughton era.
Well, I feel like if you have to have a Russell Orhii style of dominance, you have to prove yourself year after year after year. And you need time to do that. So that's not to take credibility away from Anthony, but yeah, if he shows up like at multiple world championships, wins Sheffield, like does all of that, he's definitely going to accomplish that. But one performance or two good performances doesn't paint the whole picture, right?
And if
A
you
lot
had
can still happen.
100%, 100%.
Mm.
If you had to guess though, is this the beginning of him doing just that in doing multiple back-to-back years? Or would you say, no, the other 105s are too close. We can't say that. The other 105s are too much of a threat, and this is not the beginning of a dominance 5-year run at the top.
I think personally, I would say that the other 105s are too close. I feel like alone in the USA, there is Anthony, there is Keenan, and there is Mr. Ashton Rouska,
Right.
the sergeant.
Sure.
And all of them puts up crazy numbers. So it's a matter of what happens at USA Nationals and who gets sent to the World Championships. And then all of us boys from the European region, we're going to have to try to compete with that.
Sheffield's coming up in January, and 1,000 kilo total has been kicked around by several people attached to the 105s.
Mhm.
Do you think, if I got $1 million on the table, does Anthony McNaughton total 1,000 kilos at Sheffield?
Yes, yes, he does. Not
Follow up.
not
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
not only did he have room left in the tank on the at the World Championship, he has also shown some really good progression in his training, I think. Hit PRs on POs on back squat and deadlift. And
Mm.
his deadlift and his bench press is solid, right? Um, so I would put my money on that he hits the 1,000. He breaks into the 1,000, and we already have an example in Bob, right? He's very light, minus 120, and it's not unreasonable to think that McNaughton is going to do it just a few kilos lighter.
Yeah, good point. To an like Bob is a 120, but he's a light 120. He's
Yeah.
under 110.
What did Bob weigh in at SPD Austin?
You know, that's a good question. I'm gonna pull this up right now. If I'm not mistaken, it's under it was under 110, and we'll
Crazy.
get to
That's
that under
crazy.
110 in a second, but let's take a look here because I am interested. He weighed in at 110.7. He makes me a
Okay.
liar, but still 110 nonetheless. Yeah, it's crazy. 10.5
Oh, still
at
five
as a
kilos
110.
from it, right? That's
That's
crazy.
right.
That's what I almost weigh in my off season. So it's crazy.
It's okay. I mean, I want to talk about the 110 talk in we'll do it afterwards, but I have a
Yeah.
good conversation about that later. So we're talking 1,000 kilos for Anthony McNaughton at Sheffield. I'll back that up, and I also think Anthony is more than capable of 1,000 kilos, which will be
Mhm.
exciting whenever somebody crosses the barrier and does like when Joe B did 900 kilos, Taylor did 800 kilos, and Perk is talking about 900 kilos himself as a 74, which is insane, by the way. But Anthony doing 1,000, I think 100% it's on the table. How about Keenan Lee, who is it's a murderer's row, like you already said in USA. He wanted to go to World. He wanted to go to Sheffield. Check, check. He's phenomenal. If Anthony McNaughton didn't exist, Keenan Lee would be the world champ and we'd all be singing his praises. He's a phenomenal lifter. He also has said he has 1,000 kilos in his sights. You got $1 million on the table, Regan. That goes a long way back in Denmark, my friend. A million US, by the way, a million US. Okay, no, €1 million. I think euros even worth more than US at this point. Million euros on the table. You got to gamble with it. Does Keenan Lee total 1,000 kilos at Sheffield?
Mm, It's um it's close. It's very close. I don't think we've seen the full extent of what Keenan Lee is capable of. I have a lot of respect for that man too. Um, I would put it more in the favor of McNaughton, but I don't with a bit of time, and I'm not 100% sure how Keenan's training has been looking. But I'm confident that he will be able to do it at some point. If it's going to be at Sheffield, I'm not sure about that. But if it's going to be at some point, 100%.
Gotcha, gotcha. So yeah, because he's been dealing with injuries, and
Exactly. And I heard your podcast with him, and he has been talking about the injury stuff. If he can keep injury free and he can keep progressing and enjoying training as he's doing and not going on honeymoons here and there and and yeah, just locking in, right? Because he seems very focused and locked in on what he wants to accomplish right now. He's going to do it in no time.
yeah, I agree. 1,000 kilos in his career for sure. Can he do it at Sheffield? It's going to depend if he's 100%, how he's feeling. That the stars got to
Yes.
align. Obviously, I also agree. Anthony is definitely closer. I think everyone will agree on that, and I would be comfortable in terms of Anthony McNaughton hitting 1,000 kilos at Sheffield. But it'd be nice to see them battle it out. Now, going into looking at 2026 as a whole, who do you think is the biggest threat to Anthony McNaughton?
Ah, the biggest threat to Anthony. If Rouska can get his pec fixed, I would say Rouska. If he
Mm,
can't, it would be Keenan.
yeah, we
Because
definitely need. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well, I just it was you commentated on the Austin meet, and you could clearly see the imbalance it has led to him having on the bench press. Like his left arm is just shooting up and locking out, and his right arm is like
Yeah,
struggling. Um, if he can fix that issue and get back to his what is he benched in competitions like 210, 210 something.
yeah, 210, 215 range. I'd off the top of my dome around there, and
Yeah, exactly.
he's
If he
losing a lot of
can
kilos.
if he can get back in that range and keep evolving that squat world record and like keep on going with his deadlift, he switched to conventional and did a crazy pull at SBD Austin. He did like what did he do 380,
Um,
380 and a half or something.
yeah, it was a record anyways. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a switch hitter. He's one of powerlifting's rare switch hitters. Some people can switch hit, but not be anywhere close to their other like primary deadlift style. He could switch
Yes.
hit, and either which way he's at the top end. It's crazy.
That's just crazy. That is
Yeah,
just stupid. Yeah. But all of them boys in the US, they are just animals, man. They are crazy, and it really motivates me that they're able to push it so far. For me as a 105 here in Europe, right? Because that just makes me want to step up my game and get even better, right? Because
mm,
before the ceiling was 940. In a year, it got pushed. Yeah, it has been pushed a minimum of 30 kilos
yeah,
on a semi-good McNaughton day, right? If he hits 1,000, that means that in the span of a year, it has been pushed 60 kilos, the world record total. And 60 kilos is a lot of training when you're an advanced lifter. That's a lot of training.
yeah. Well, for the longest time, Anatoly Novopismani from Ukraine was, the 105 world champ several times over. He'd win best lifter at the world championships. He was so dominant as a 105. And to your point, 940. He was doing it around 940. And this is no slouch.
No,
Anatoly's been at the world championships. I remember him back in Belarus 2017. Like he's been around the block and
he's a
so
veteran.
quickly.
He's
He's
experienced. Yeah.
a legend, won so many battles.
Mm.
And then so quickly, Anthony McNaughton comes around and is like, you like that? Take a look at this. 975, insane. And to your point earlier, he's improving. He's a young guy. He's like not far out of the juniors himself. And we're talking 1,000 kilos now. When 940 was the world record, it's crazy. The
What is
progress in the
he?
105s.
Yeah, McNaughton is only 2, 3 years older than me. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. I'm
There's
not doubting that I'll be able to battle him one day. That's not it. But it's
mm.
just, yeah, progression has to be good, and I have to stay injury free. Then I'll get there.
So at SPD Austin, we had Bobb Matthews, and is it bittersweet to see Bobb Matthews such a light 120? Do you think Bobb Matthews will ever return to the 105s?
Hmm. I think that. Well, I think it depends on the competition. He goes where the biggest hitters are. Uh, and if McNaughton hits the 1,000, I could see him go down and battle it out with him, and then moving back up maybe. It's not that many kilos, but I know he's talked about having a hard time gaining weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah. But I wouldn't deem it unrealistic at all that he moves down and then jumps back up. But I think it depends on right now, I think if I put myself into his mindset, maybe he's locked in on wanting to beat Rondell head to head in a clash. And I don't think he's gonna give up on that before it has been done, the head to head battle.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so I think he'll stay 120 for a while and see how far into the world record he can dig and how close he can get to Rondell.
I agree that the Rondell has to happen. I mean, even at SPD Austin, even though Rondell pulled out, obviously his number from 2025 was still there, 10-10.
Yeah.
And this was a storyline we leaned into as a commentator and as a podcaster and social media guy within the community. I'm always looking for storylines to make things meaningful and matter. And as soon as I saw Rondell moved out, I'm like, well, we still got your 10-10 Playboy in 2025. And I think Bob's good for it. So all I got, and I just put my foot in the door and let's rock and roll. And it still revolved around, even with Rondell not there, the commentary and storyline still revolved around Bob versus Rondell. And
Yes.
as soon as he hit 10-10.5, Rondell Hunt, you got yourself a contender. And I'm yelling and we're all like excited. So for sure that has to happen. It's
Hmm.
just um when it happens and they have the showdowns and they'll probably clash multiple times, possibly at Worlds, possibly at Sheffield's, possibly whatever. Then afterwards, it's interesting because the 105s are gaining so much steam. But this leads me to the second conversation I want to have with you. Because in the US, you've already mentioned there's a bottleneck, if you will, of talent in the 105s. You have guys like Anthony McNaughton, Ashton Rouska, Keenan Lee, all of them capable of winning a world title. This happens at all different weight classes, by the way, obviously,
Hmm.
it coming through the US. Then you have Bobb Matthews, who is a 110er. He's not a
Hmm.
full 120. He's a good 10 kilos off of being a 120, but he's gained size. He doesn't want to cut back down to 105 because he wants to be as big and strong as possible.
Hmm.
I got you. That's why he got in the game. I want to get big. I want to get strong. I want to see how far I can push my body. I
Yes.
respect that. That's the ultimate pound for pound hunter in terms of I don't care about formulas. I care about performances and kilos. So I want to be as big and strong as possible, even if it's a David versus Goliath match. Love it. Love it.
I
But
respect
here's
it. It's just the mindset of just being a fucking unit. I love that. Yeah, I love it.
just saying, like you could prove yourself as a 120 with these formulas. And he's like, I don't give a damn about that. I'll just go against the guy a weight class up. Yeah, but you're going to give up 10 kilos in body weight. Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. Good. Good. That's
I
how I
imagine
prove I'm a.
him. Imagine if he beats Rondell one day and he's gonna be like, "Yeah,
Oh,
Jesus, you're next."
that'd be crazy. But so all that to say, then there's conversation. So SPD is doing money meets. You got Avances and Silent Worker, et cetera. There's a lot of money meets floating around.
Hmm.
And you have a bunch of people who are world class, but because they're in the US, they're not going to make it to the world championships. You got Bobb Matthews as a 110. You got a bunch of 105s that could easily compete just over the weight class of 105. And here's an idea. I want to get your input. What if somebody like SBD steps forward and says, in 2026, we want to bring to you matchups you could never see due to the way that the schedule lays out. Let
Hmm.
me explain. For instance, because there's a bottleneck, you can only have one American on a national team per weight class. You'll never see all of the 93s in the US. Russ, Will Ball, Keiko, Gavin, Petrie, all of them compete all at once against all the Europeans, Emil, Gustav, etc. You'll never
Hmm.
see that. We want to bring to you the showdowns you will never see, and they
Yeah.
do like a special tournament, a whole flight of 93s, and it's all the best 93s. Amazing. I think and literally if you tagline it, we're bringing you showdowns you'll never see, and we're going to do it. I think everybody tunes in. Here's an idea. Well, we could talk about the 93s in a sec, but my other idea, in that series of tournaments like SBD Austin turns into the matchups you'll never see series, how about the 110s? We're going to bring you a catch weight of 110. And that 110 is going to have all the world's 105s, all the small 120s, and everybody clashes at 110 and below. And God bless. If Rondell wants to cut and try to make it, it cuts 5 kilos of body weight and cuts 5 kilos of water. Let's see what happens because he'll be depleted. So he'll be vulnerable. But if Rondell doesn't, you have Bob, you have Anthony, you have everyone else underneath the 110, and that's a matchup you will never see unless SBD steps forward and says, we're going to do it. What do you think?
That would be very sexy. That would be, yeah, it would be crazy. Like if you took the rankings of all the official best in like all the 10 official best in each weight category and invited, depending on if they're active or not, but and invited them to a big clash, that would be insane. That would be insane.
All you got to do is just pick the weight class that everybody wants to see the most, like the 93s, obviously. Grab
Hmm.
one on the women's side. Grab one on the women's side. That's a bottleneck of talent that aren't all going to go to the worlds, like probably the 69 kilo, but you can inspect it and take a look. And then grab another one. Like you could do a series of these, by the way.
Hmm.
But one of them would be make up catch weights. Make up catch weights. Why not? Hey, do you want to see Perk versus Joe B? Make them go head to head, but make it like Joe B has to cut to 80 kilos. So Perk moves up to 80. Joe B has to cut a little. Now let's see. Joe B isn't going to be a full 83. What happens there? We do this all the time in boxing and MMA for super fights, whatever. It's the opportunity, and you don't have to do formulas. You could go head to head kilos. It's an amazing opportunity to bring us the showdowns we can't ordinarily see. You could throw guys in there like Penna, who's like a small 74, and be like, let's do a 70-kilo class. We're going to do a catch weight. Start doing catch weights or start doing alleviating the bottlenecks and grab it's America versus the world or America versus Europe. My God, you do that series, say starting in 2026, we're doing this series, the greatest matchups you'll never see. Everybody's going to tune in. Are you kidding me? Everybody's going to tune in.
Yeah.
Give it a
Yeah.
name. I mean, it could be a World
It's
Cup,
good,
it could be a whatever, right?
good, good on
International,
the
whatever.
fly. Yeah. I don't know, the World Series or something.
The World Series, buddy. And that strikes a chord with the Americans because that's
Yeah.
baseball, right? And that's
Yeah.
America's pastime. They call, and then
Oh yeah, that's
the
right.
pinnacle, the pinnacle of, I mean, it's all about marketing. What strikes a chord? And because we're alleviating the bottleneck in the U.S. talent, you call it a World Series, like say less. They all know what that means. That's actually a really good. That's perfect. The World Series because you're You're bringing the world's best. And the biggest knock people have on the world championships is the unfortunate you can only have one per
Yeah.
weight class.
We could
Oh my
also
God.
go the route of basketball and call it a World All-Stars or something.
Yeah, or an all-star game. And yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
whatever it is, do it. Are you kidding me? People wouldn't tune in. Oh, of course they'll tune in. But of course they'll tune in. And because otherwise no one else do it before someone else does. I'm telling you right now. If you're SP, you don't think another company is not like that. That will kill. That will be the money meet everybody tunes into. Do it before someone else does. I'm telling you right now.
You heard it here
But anyway,
first.
be first to market with it. Be first to market with it. Start aligning yourself. Um, Having mentioned that, so an interesting situation in the 93s. I want to get your opinion here. We have a world record holder in Russell Orhe. We have the unofficial world record holder in Will Ball. We
Mm,
have a world champion in Emil Krastev. We have just a year before, though, Sheffield champion and world champion Gustav Hedlund, who's not far behind. And then we have probably the GOAT in 93, the most established Jonathan Kaiko. All of these guys are within 5 kilos of each other.
yeah.
Right here, right now, who is the number 193 in the world to you?
Oh. Well, my biased or non-biased opinion. Two of them are flex boys.
That's good. That's a good. That's a good. That's a good point. I'll take
Well,
both. How's that sound?
okay. I'll start off with saying I think in this experience says a lot. Experience says a whole lot. And I know that I need more experience, I feel like, to be able to really put out my maximal effort. Also, for me to motivate my training because I want to have fun with it, right? I want to get better for the greater good of getting strong, being a unit.
Mm,
Um, but to answer who's my favorite? Who's my favorite to win this? Um, I think what we're seeing from Russ right now, Russ is hungry. He's
mm,
hungry. I've
mm.
always looked up to Russ. I think he's great, and if he's in it, if he's locked in, he can push the boundaries. I'm sure of it, and he can extend it even further. I think that the experience of Keiko really speaks to me. He can put up numbers on bench press that are unheard of in the 93 class. And he also looks on fire right now.
Mm.
Gustav is my lovely neighbor, right, in my neighbor country, and
That's right.
he's also a great guy. He was like, came in Sheffield, kind of an underdog, just took it, like did the math, did the lifts, went in there, perfect, did it. So please don't sleep on him. Would also say Willow Ball, he has really been surprising me. Going from straight up bumming to a meet because you don't hit depth on back squat to doing 920 in the span of a year is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. That progression, yeah, that's just nuts. So, and Emil Krastev, the of course world championship, has done some very clutch performances, I would say. Both the performance where he got second at Sheffield and his world championship right before that. I talked to him right before the world championship, and he was like, "It's very important that I win today because something with I think it was his grandfather's birthday. Um,
Really?
yeah, I'm pretty sure, and I don't put me up on this, but I'm pretty sure his grandfather passed away, and he went in there and performed and executed on the day. So
That's
that must have been
amazing, dude. That's an
th
amazing backstory.
that must have been an incredible moment for him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was how it was like, but don't 100% hold me accountable of
Hey,
saying
dog. Hey,
that.
it's like that movie that said some of the story in this movie is true. Not
Yeah.
all of it has to be true. Not all of it has to be true. It's too good of a story. Let's go with it.
E- exactly. No, that was great. Um, I don't think I can give you a definitive answer because all of them has really, really strong arguments vouching for them. And as you said, it's a 5 kilo gap, right? So it's like
Yeah.
it's a free for all. Everything can happen. It matters who misses a lift, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of missing a lift, I feel like experience comes in handy first. So you know how to navigate those situations. Yeah. So I would give it to the old heads. Yeah.
It is, it's a question that needs to be answered. We have too many 93s, man. That's why, yes, not to keep
Yes.
belaboring the
What?
SBD idea, but we got to sort this out. Everyone all on the same platform. Make it happen. Not
Yeah.
because some guys are going to lift at Sheffield and not at US Nationals. So we won't even see the Americans go head to head, let alone everybody in the world at the World Championship. So it's, if we can get them all at once, oh my gosh, everyone's going to go nuts for it. There's also talk that the quote unquote soft world records are all gone now. Meaning, like in every weight class, because there was some weight classes where the world record was below what it should be, below what we think the capabilities of the lifters within the weight class are. And you knew, for instance, when Shell dropped the 66, and he's like, "Oh, this is where you guys are at," and Shell just took that and threw that, you know, kicked that
Shattered
ball
it.
down the field
Yes.
like crazy, and like, okay, this is where the new standard is. So people are saying all the soft weight world records are gone. However, we just talked about Anthony McNaughton going from 975 to 1,000. If you ask me, or if further, if you ask Gavin Aiden, the 93 kilo world record is still soft. He thinks, no, no, 920. No, 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 no. That's, we're capable of 950. We're capable.
Yeah.
Currently, we're not talking, no, in the future. Gavin would tell you, no, no, my friend, right now, we should be doing 950. We're capable
Mhm.
of 950. Do you think all of the soft world records are gone? Or are there still vulnerable world records not being chipped 5 kilos, 10 kilos? Do you think we're talking there's still plenty more room in the tank for these 30 kilo jumps? We already said McNaughton, but otherwise,
I don't know if I would deem any of the world records soft right now. But I feel like it's about a fixated mindset, right? Everybody puts up a number and that's the number to reach, and then the number gets broken, and then a new number is the new barrier. Um, it's very much about the limit of the mindset you approach it with. Because I'm guesstimating as soon as McNaughton hits 1,000, uh, it's gonna be like 2 years maximum. Then three, four, five lifters has hit it. And we're
mm,
talking maybe Keenan, Rouska, Anatoly, me, right around there, right?
mm,
Um, and same thing in the 93s. I don't think it's a soft world record, like, but right now it has just been very much a numbers game because it's been like, okay, chip the world record, get the world title. Like, you want to win these battles. It's all these battles that are getting hyped up. It's not about extending the world record to oblivion. It's about winning the battles and becoming the definitive 95 champion that year. But now we have such a compact and tough competition. So the only logical thing to do approaching it mindset wise would be to just obliviate that total. It would be to go in there and extend it as far as you can so nobody could reach you. And then we're talking the 940, the 950 mark. And 940 now, if they hit 950, let's say, for example, Russ goes in, he hits 950. He has an incredible day on back squat. His bench progression has been like crazy, and he hits the numbers he wants to hit on deadlift because his grip is just rock solid that day.
yeah.
Yeah, then we're good for it. And then like it's at the old 105 record, right? it's over it if you hit
Yeah,
950.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, and I don't know if I could tell you that powerlifting will stop evolving now because right now we're in the peak of traction. Like there's so many eyes on powerlifting. The world is starting to realize, okay, it's something. We have something here, and athletes are starting to actually make a living out of the sports. They're actually starting to get opportunities from doing powerlifting. If it's getting invited to meets, if it's getting specific sponsorships, if it's getting prize money from winning competitions, like all of these factors are involved here. Um, so yeah, it's it's been a good year for powerlifting 2025. I think I'll round it up saying
Like you said, if Russ does 940, 950, you're 100% right. All the 105s are going to look at that and be like, oh, hell no. I'm not getting out total by a 93. And it'll
that.
actually it'll stimulate not only the 93s, even the 105s will be stimulated and be like, no, I don't think so. If this 93 is doing 950, I could do 1,000. It
Mhm.
just, everybody starts nudging up. I mean, the fact
Exactly.
that the 93s previously were in the 880s and they were phenomenal. And this is the top end was 880s. And a freaking 19-year-old comes out of nowhere and will ball and says, how about 920? You're a teenager. These guys that are phenoms were winning world titles with 880s, and you're a freaking kid at 19 winning with 920. It's like,
Mhm.
how is this? What does this end? It makes you re-look back like, what the heck, like, how does this just, these doors open up and all of a sudden new standards like that emerge? It's crazy. And I keep telling myself at some point it's got to slow down and become fractions, where, like, for
Yes.
instance, the 100-meter dash, 100-meter dash, it's fractions of a second. Now I get
Uh,
it. Due to the nature of the 100 meters, you only have enough room. We're talking 10 seconds.
yeah.
So you're not shaving seconds off it. It has to be fractions. So I get the nature of it. However, I keep telling myself, eventually, there has to be a cap at humans where
Mm.
we're now moving the world record by 0.5s. It can't keep
Yeah.
being year over year 30-kilo jumps. This is crazy. But
No.
here we are. It's still happening.
Yeah, but I think before we reach that point, like powerlifting has to get enough traction to get enough people involved so we can get all the freaks in, right?
Mm.
And it's the freaks that's going to do it. Like it's the freaks that's going to come in and make that, as you said, that standard, and then it's going to become a fraction from that. So yeah, at some point, 100% we're going to reach it. And I just feel like the more popular the sport becomes, the more competitors that are going to come from all around the world, the better likelihood there is going to be for the world records to be not, I would not call it capped, but I would call it 90% capped until it's not, right? Like,
Not like major jumps. Well, who do you think even 10 years from now will look back and say he was a freak? She was a freak. Who are the lifters that are ahead of their time that even in 10 years time, because we know these world records keep getting bumped,
mhm.
who will stand the testament of time? Because here's the thing, I have seen Taylor Atwood do 838.5 in the entire powerlifting world. Could not believe it. He was the undisputed king. He was a world champion. There was three major formulas used to do this pound for pound rankings. He had all
Mhm.
three formulas number one. He was undisputedly the man and the king, and he was the most dominant person of that. That was his era, no question. That's 838.5. My friend, now Perk is talking 900 kilos, and we're just a
Mhm.
couple years later. Who is doing something right now that in a couple years we're not doing this conversation all over again and be like, oh my God, we thought this was insane and we couldn't wrap our heads around it. 2 years later, you would be getting killed
Well,
with
it's
that
just
story.
like, oh, 2 years later, oh, the world record in 2025 was soft.
Yeah, like this. But so I'll go first and I'll take the easiest answer here is
Uh-huh.
I get the shit go. No
Mhm,
matter
mhm.
what, I think even in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, Agatha weighing in at 63.4.
Yes.
So she's essentially a 63, but she just weighed a stitch over, so she's in the 69 kilo class. She had the same total as the 76 kilo world champion Carlina Tongatea. That's insane.
He
That is
is.
literally like for
Yeah.
find me. I think in 5 years, if the 63s reach 612.5, like Agatha did, like I think her 612.5 as a 63 will point 4 will still match up. I think Agatha, and then I'll let you go next if you could think of someone else. But I swear to God, man, it's so hard to do this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, to your point, Agatha is the GOAT. She is so impressive. Like what she does in the women's field is just, yeah, it's out of this world as we're talking
Mm,
about, right? It's gonna be
yeah,
looked back at and it's gonna be like, holy shit. That like she's the same age as me, right? It's like
is
that
I think so.
Polish
Yeah,
kid.
is she
Yeah.
still a junior? Agatha's been a
Yeah,
junior forever.
I'm not sure if she's still a junior, but I just know we're around the same age. She's like
Yeah,
23, 24, something like that.
yeah.
Um, Next one I'm gonna list is gonna be Jesus. Uh,
That's who I was thinking. I left that for you.
yes,
Go ahead.
no, Jesus. He does something that most people are not willing to do, and I think it's gonna stand the testimony of time. He has a massive total, a monster back squat, and I'm not sure if he still holds it. No, no, he previously had the highest total in all of world powerlifting as a natural IPF lifter. Uh, when we're talking enhanced versus natural, that to me is just nuts in itself to have had that once. He is so impressive to me. And the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, how can a human being put up numbers like that? I don't care how much he weighs. I don't care what the IPF points are. Being able to load 478.5 kilos on your back and squat it like he did on SPD Austin. I was jumping on the couch. I was going crazy. Like I was so hyped. Like that was just peak human experience. Like if you understand how heavy that weight is to have on your back, that is just crazy.
Okay, let's do a 2 minute pee break. And my friend, when I come back from the pee break, I'll make sure we're recording. Don't worry about that. Like last time. Okay, don't worry about that. But yeah, we'll come back in 2 seconds. We're back to recording. I just heard us say it.
We're
All right,
recording.
my man. We're
God
recording.
damn it.
Hey,
Let's
we're
go.
recording. We're recording. We're recording. Um, so yeah, so and Jesus still holds that all-time world record, by the way. I think Jesus is the one, like untested or tested. I just looked on open powerlifting, making sure nobody in the untested and some, you got people in backwoods federations where the standards are extremely loose, and they still can't beat Jesus, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because look at, let's be honest, we've seen some really loose officiating in the untested, and freaking Jesus is still the king, which is nuts. So I agree with you, Jesus, in terms of who will stand the test of time in 5 years. That total's still going to match up. Another person I'm thinking is Perk, and beyond that, everybody else I'm not sure, because 5 years and every I've been around too long. But I think if Perk does 900 kilos, not now, not what Perk's done now as a 74, he needs to do 900. Then in
Yes.
5 years' time, I think that's still going to stand the test of time, and it's still going to be very difficult. But if he stays in the mid 800s or whatever, even late 800s, nah, you got people like Elliot Sykes and it's not going to last. Like these
Well,
guys, Elliot Sykes is a freaking kid. Was he 19, 20? Or he's
yeah.
still a teenager. He's coming. Like you got to go into the 900s if you're going to be here 5 years.
They're just throwing mud at each other, man. It's crazy.
It's who do you think? Who do you think is the most exciting junior?
Well, gotta put some respect on Joe Borenstein's name. He's
Mm.
ranked number one. Well, was it this year or last year?
Uh,
Um,
it- yeah, he's number one. He's still a junior for the rest of this year.
but in my head, he was just like an open guy, right? Because he's never really competed at Junior Worlds or anything. He just skipped that part. He was like, "Fuck it, we ball," and that's
Yeah,
fucking fair game. Like fair game. If
yeah.
you can compete with the open like that, yeah, hell yeah, go do it. Um, who's the most exciting junior? It depends on what you measure it on. If it's just kilos on the barbell, it's like, yeah, it's Joe Borenstein, it's Elliot Sykes, it's Will Ball,
Yeah.
all of these guys putting up crazy numbers in their respective weight categories. Um, but I really feel like we're in a good situation in terms of just growing the sport in general. Like I've gained a lot of traction on social media. I feel like I helped grow powerlifting quite a bit. Also, speaking about big personalities, Nathaniel, right? He's also helping
Hmm.
powerlifting growing quite a bit. Russ being at his all-time peak in terms of content and competition, and him just like going on and keep doing what he's doing, right?
Hmm.
Um, we're in an exciting time of powerlifting, both media and competition wise, and I like where this is going. As we talked about, we in the last part of our podcast that got cut off.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
where is powerlifting headed? Where do we see it? Why is it not a major player like baseball, basketball, soccer, like all of these things? What can we do to get it there? And I feel like we're on the right path.
Well, okay, yeah. This is a good conversation. Let's lean into this. This is a good one. So, powerlifting. There's been some statistics thrown around, and I haven't
Uh-huh.
done the research myself. That in America, um, the participation rate went from 60,000 to 40, and it's actually dwindling in America. And I think globally, I just saw a reel saying globally it was peaking in around 2022, which is shocking
Mhm.
to me. Now I don't know. I'm not sure what this means. I don't know why this might be. I know CrossFit is also is died, and it's being taken out by High Rocks or whatever the hell it
But
is. And
that has a specific reason, right? Like it's
uh,
not so it's hard to correlate. You know about the instance that happened at the CrossFit Games?
tell me
Like
about it.
the
I'm not huge into CrossFit. I know there's some
well,
things
my
that happened.
my brother does CrossFit on a
Okay.
pretty high level. So I was following it while he was going to the games and stuff. Um, but it was I don't know the details, but it was they held an event, the CrossFit Games, right, which is the biggest CrossFit competition. Um, and a guy died in the middle of the competition. So they were having a swimming event in open waters, sea, and he drowned. Um, and they got so many complaints about how they handled the situation. Why was there not enough security to make sure that this didn't happen? Like safety, paramedics, all of these things. And I think it just made people doubt the, not necessarily the sport of CrossFit, but more the authority of the people that are arranging the biggest competitions.
Hmm.
So it created like a distance between the CrossFitters and the competition itself, and I think many of them saw it as an opportunity to try new stuff like high rocks or go into a different federation. Like there is I think it's called uh, the World Fitness Championships now, which is also a really big CrossFit federation.
Mm.
So people are just either moving from competing, trying to compete at CrossFit Games to going to another federation or just going straight to high rocks, right?
Does High Rocks use a barbell?
No, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And that
What?
is an issue for us as
Yeah,
powerlifters. Because, like, one thing that CrossFit, because they're so into barbell, some people would go to the gym, find CrossFit, start squatting, start whatever. And then when you go on social media, you see other people squatting, and it was an easier transition to be like, oh, powerlifting. It's
mm,
I squat, I do, I deadlift. They don't bench press, but it's a softer landing, so to speak. And we'd get athletes from there.
mm. Well, also to your point, same thing with bodybuilding, like the whole optimal training like thing that has been going on with people doing machines and tempo and doing weird things with bands and so on, getting away from all the barbell and all the hard stuff.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Yeah, talk about that because you know what, I heard that as well. That bodybuilding for a minute, you had obviously guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger who powerlifted first. I just
yeah,
heard Ronnie Coleman talk about. He was on the podcast with Eddie Hall actually, and Ronnie
yeah,
Coleman was saying he started as a powerlifter first. He
yeah.
found bodybuilding after powerlifting, and he right through his bodybuilding career was squatting, deadlifting, bench pressing. Same with, like, obviously famously, he would wear squat suits. He would put
Yep.
on a full-on squat suit for his squat days, wrapping his knees like so. That made the popularity of bodybuilding growing. Again, um, a bit of symmetry with powerlifting because it
Mm.
correlated. You could do both, and people would do both, and
Transition between the two, yeah,
easily,
was
easily.
easier.
Whereas
Yeah.
you're right, the trend of barbell training from CrossFit to High Rocks and within bodybuilding, what's going on now? Because I'm not as in tune, but someone had said they're moving away from barbells.
Yeah. Well, what I've been observing is that pretty much everybody has been moving away from barbells because I can agree to some extent that it's maybe not the most optimal way of growing muscle mass, but that
Mhm.
does not, to me, take away from the extent that back squat and a bench press and a deadlift can grow your physique like crazy. To me, it has always been a matter of what do I enjoy doing? What do I see longevity in? What makes me fucking happy when I go to the gym, right?
Mm,
And I like a combination of feeling like I'm doing cool and hard stuff with a barbell and then going over there and doing a million sets of bicep curls to get that pump.
yeah.
Um, and I don't know, people are just growing away from that because I guess it's very result minded. There is probably also a section of the people that does not enjoy barbell movements, which is respectable to me. But then you and powerlifting has never been the fit either way, so you would not even be considered like to go over here. But yeah, it maybe it's maybe gonna it maybe has hurt it a little bit. Um, but it's hard to track numbers on, right? I
If
just well, but yeah, the trends. It's like if not enough people are doing barbell movements, if it's only us powerlifters and the weightlifters, then it's hard, right?
if it's the trend, I'm not as worried because trends change. Like, just like everyone's wearing skinny jeans and all of a sudden it's back to the 90s, everyone's wearing baggy
Yeah,
jeans all of a sudden. It's
yeah.
like a trend like that. Like, hopefully it doesn't take that long, because but if
Well, to me,
barbell sorry, go ahead.
no, I would just say to me, High Rocks is just one big trend. Like it's just it looks nice on the Instagram. It's like, oh, I've done something. I've ran like 8 kilometers and did these 8 events, and now I can check that list off, and that's it. Um, I fuck with activity in general. Like, if you fucking enjoy it, go do your thing. But I just think it's gonna die out at some point. It's like the ultimate endurance workout, which is cool. It has never been something for me, but if you like it out there, go do your thing. But yeah, I just feel like it's gonna. it's for me. I also had like clients that are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do a single high rocks because it looks cool." Okay, go do your
Mm.
thing.
Really? You've actually had people leave powerlifting and go to high rocks? Personally, on a
Not
personal level, you've seen it.
no, not leave powerlifting, but more like just try it out. Just try high rocks
Ah,
out because as we're talking about, it's a trend, right? So
yeah.
people want to experience that trend, and the more traction it gets, the more exposure it gets, the more people are going to be like, oh, maybe I could do this and challenge myself a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. Once they start trying it out, that's the gateway. And they
Mm,
might end up leaving. But I do think trends are called
mm.
trends for a reason. Like
Yeah,
powerlifting's not going anywhere, and I don't think we're going to shrink to a significant amount by any means. Like all of a sudden Sheffield goes away. All of a sudden,
mm,
SPD is like, why? What's the sense of putting in money like this? Like, no, where we're at is where we're at. I don't think you're going to feel a massive shrink in terms of talent pool. World records, despite the participation rates going down, world records are
no,
still going up, viewership still high. So I don't think we're going to experience anything too crazy. It's just if it is just a trend in terms of barbell training, it'll swing back to being back in vogue, and all of a sudden we're back to barbell training, and then you'll see another
bingo.
spike. So if it's
Mhm.
that, I'm not as worried. If it's just a trendy, High Rocks is trendy, blah blah blah. Guess what? 2 3 years, all of a somebody popular is going to come around and
Yeah,
say, I'm going to put a barbell in everybody's hand and
yeah,
follow my journey. And all of a sudden, this person is going to make it kaboom, and we're all going crazy about
yeah,
barbell training all over again. It's a freaking trend. I remember
yeah.
reading a Sports Illustrated article about the Olympics, and they did a poll of like 100 strength and conditioning coaches from athletes in the Olympics. So, I mean, from all over the world, all different disciplines, Olympians. They did a poll and they said, give us your top 3 exercises. And you know what those exercises was, my friend?
Let me
Squat, bench,
guess.
and deadlift. Squat,
Yes.
bench, and deadlift. They're all powerlifting, essentially.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, it doesn't mean they're single maxing out or whatever, but
No, no.
nevertheless, so just to say, like, there's a lot of athletes that are still doing it. It'll never go away. It's in the infrastructure of being an athlete. So I'm not worried. It's just we're in a moment it
Mm,
might be the next couple of years might feel exactly as it does now. However, Sheffield's getting bigger. It's moving
mm.
to a stadium. So, and that
Well,
might be you
yeah.
know, we're seeing progress. That might be because
Mm.
it was overdue. Like we're selling out in like 24 hours. Like it was always there. But I
Yeah,
don't blame them for being sure-footed.
no. Well, no matter how we twist and turn it, I always think that powerlifting and barbell movements are going to be a cornerstone of fitness in general.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that. But to the point earlier, it also takes a specific person to really get good at powerlifting. It's not for everyone. And you've been in the dirt, right? You've been in the dirt. You know what I mean because the repeated repetition of having to do almost the same thing every single day, like every
Mm.
single week, every single month, it can be very cut and dry at some points if you're not like creative with your training, if you don't enjoy it to the full extent, if you limit yourself too much, it can be very cut and dry. So it takes a specific mindset and a special person to be able to enjoy the full extent of powerlifting. And I'm not very cut and dry with my training. I think I'm maybe one of Joey's athletes that goes off program the most frequently. Because I'm like, oh yeah, today I also want to do military barbell press, or I I want to do an extra set of arms, or I want to do this, or no, I'm gonna cut off a set because of this and this, or something. Maybe it hurts me a little bit. I'm not sure. But what I can assure you is that it maximizes my enjoyment of the gym in general. Because as I've talked about before, I didn't come into powerlifting with the goal of being like the GOAT, the number one, undisputed, whatever. Um, I felt very right here, and I felt like this was me being able to express myself both performance-wise and athlete-wise. And right now, I'm just managing to control it to an extent where I can enjoy myself fully every time I hit the gym and do a session. I feel like more people should do that because or otherwise they'll just end up burning out. And I don't want to see that. I want you to stay here. I want you to be happy with the things you're doing. I want you to go to the gym, enjoy the hell out of your session, get all of that dopamine, and just show up the next day and get 1% better.
Well, things I want to unpack because you made a couple good points in here. First off, yes, powerlifting can be monotonous because they're doing the same thing over and over. And
Yes.
what I love about it is because I've been powerlifting since 2008, and even though I don't compete no more, I still train. And what I love about it is the fatigue factor that a squat, like any of the compound lifts in powerlifting, will get you over like a machine or a dumbbell. The over because it legitimately is a compound movement. It takes you. So people who say I see you squatting, you do a lot of legs. And I'm like, my
Mhm.
dude, I'm not training legs, I'm training my full body. If you think squatting is training your legs, you don't know how to squat. It'll take
Yeah.
your full body. And what I feel after a long squat session, the overall body fatigue, the angst and anxiety is gone, the dopamine hits, and I'm rested. I get home like, whoa, the whole body feels worked out. So even though it's monotonous in that, oh my God, we're squatting again, but that's what I get. And if that's not normal for someone, like that is the challenge. I agree. And here's something else.
Mhm.
Friend of mine, Kafui Hochoyame, who he's a partner in King of List, Canadian, champion and been to worlds like a million times. But he's actually got me on a program and he's threw in a bunch of accessories. And the fun it is to and this is where it is to go on
Uh-huh.
machines or just do isolated movements and
Uh-huh.
get a pump in the lats, get a pump in the even the pump in the hamstrings or just the
Yeah.
quads, or get a pump in
Yeah.
the arms or shoulders. And just like
Yeah.
if you do a full day where you're just getting pumps all over the place and you leave, it is like I could do like 7 different movements, not just squat and bench, dead, like
Yeah.
not just an SBD day. You're doing multiple movements. You get a pump all
Mhm.
over the place because it's isolated, so it feels different. It
Mhm.
is. I know the monotony is broken up. I'm telling you right now, like you're right. It actually is easier mentally to go in there and be like, what have I got today? Oh shit. It's essentially a bodybuilding day. What are we doing here? I
Yeah.
just think like athletically speaking, I'm not getting as much out of it as if I'm smashing squats or bench or whatever, but
No,
it
no,
does
no.
help. But
You
to
need
your
to squat
point,
to get good at squat. Like that's
yeah,
how simple it is. Like you need to fucking squat to get good at squat. If you
yeah,
don't want
yeah,
to squat and just leg press, you're never gonna squat 300 kilos, bro. Like that's just it. Like
right, right. And there is something to be said. You made another good point where to make it fun but also applicable, like doing assistance work, powerlifters still do assistance work, but if you know someone needs variety and you said like I don't want you to leave powerlifting, I want you to stay, if you know someone needs variety, you can sprinkle in things, or Joey looking the other way for you being like, look at, I know you're gonna fucking military press, you like military pressing, it makes it enjoyable, do
yeah.
it. It's not gonna hurt your bench, like it's not gonna throw everything off, or but maybe in the last 4 weeks you stay on program and you don't add things in for fun, but
Exactly.
you need to, as a coach, work around to understand I don't want to lose you, I got to make it
Mhm.
entertaining, I know it's monotonous and you're doing this all year round, so if it's the quote unquote off season and you're not peaking, what do you want to do? Let's talk, let's communicate. What would you like to see in your program? Is there some bodybuilding you want to round off on your body,
Yeah.
fitness goals
Go,
like that? It's
you
fine,
want to do
we can
high
do it
rocks?
all.
Like we can program it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just don't cheat on me with high rocks. No, I got to
Exactly.
be careful here. I don't want to lose you. Um, you were also talking about another point you made, your personal goals, where you're like, hey, look it, I'm not necessarily looking to be the GOAT in terms of whatever, my division or powerlifting period or whatever, but I have certain goals. I want to expand on that for a second because you had mentioned we talked about the popularity of powerlifting and leaving imprints, and I just did a podcast with Barbells and BS. I'm going to drop that actually on the King of List platform as well. By the time this podcast goes out, it'll already been dropped. But we talked about, they were asking me questions about like uh, having done King of Lifts and commentary and media in general for the past 10 years, the imprint that I've left and how it feels to look back and like, oh my gosh, like it's, some moments you've had that you feel proud about, and like, oh my gosh, that was a first for yourself. Talking about popularity of powerlifting. Last time you were on, we dove into how what you're doing in Denmark for powerlifting, and not only just opening new boundaries in terms of your performances, which you have. You're easily the most accomplished powerlifter coming out of Denmark, winning world titles at the juniors, winning best lifter at juniors, already in the open as a junior, and you're a threat. But also the popularity wise, how big your YouTube is, your social media is, you are actually at the forefront expanding powerlifting at that level. And if somebody in Denmark or even neighboring countries get into barbell lifting or the gym and they find you, whether it's your Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, and you can be like, oh my God, oh, this is an avenue. It helps transition people. What are some of let's talk about what some of your goals are in powerlifting, personal and impact wise, that you'd like to make. And then I want to talk a bit about popularity in Denmark, etc. But for personal wise,
Mhm. Well, my goal is mainly to become the best version that I possibly can for whatever I put myself through. And right now, main focus is becoming as good as I can in powerlifting. And to me, I would want to become open world champion one day. That's a goal of mine, right? I would want to
mm,
become a world champion, qualify for Sheffield, do a really good performance there. I wanna build a legacy that's undeniable. Like it's undeniable. I'll be there in the history books when you look back. Um, but yeah, I want to challenge myself. I want to keep showing up and having good experiences, making friends, like making content and now it's my way of living, right? It's not that I earn money from the competitions I go to, but like I'm an athlete. I'm good at social media. I do that. So I see no point in pushing the brake anytime soon. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do because I enjoy lifting heavy, and yeah, I'll lift heavy to my best extent.
like, do you think you have a unique opportunity? So if you're coming through the US, powerlifting's already established and
Mm,
you're standing on the shoulders of giants, so to speak, right? But coming from Denmark, you have an opportunity to be the guy who opens the door within Denmark, where people
yes.
remember the popularity of powerlifting in your nation can completely be opened up due to you. And
Hmm.
when people look back, where did this all begin? Like powerlifting in France is huge right now.
Hmm.
I remember when Penna, Noemi Alibert, and Leah Bavois in the hallways in 2019 Worlds, I was introduced to them. All three of them winning multiple world championships, and kaboom, France explodes. And when I think about the popularity of powerlifting in France, those three helped pave the way. And you can't talk about the rise of France without talking about them. And you are in a unique situation where you might be that door that opens up. Do you
Mm.
think about things like that? Like, wow, because I'm first, I almost have a bit of responsibility where I can, when they talk about powerlifting in my nation, it might start with me. And do you feel like I got to push? I gotta show up at meets. I got to do things, or how do you feel about it?
Well, yeah, I feel like my country is relying on me in some extent, right? I don't want to disappoint when I show up at a world championship, of course. I want to do the best of my capabilities. But I have some very exciting things coming in 2026. I cannot disclose too much right now, but right now I'm arranging a power meet, which is gonna be the biggest we've ever had in Denmark, and I'm gonna invite a bunch of guys over here. And there is gonna be Danish brands involved. There is gonna be all
Nice.
these different types of things. Um, that is going to be an amazing experience for the lifters because that's what I want to create. That's what I was missing. Uh, it was a full day of community, giving it your all, loud music, and having the best time of your life because you know what high a PR can give you. And if you times that with 10, that's what we want to create.
That's it. This is exactly it. If you have
Yes.
a big platform like you do and utilizing it, with a team around you helping out, obviously you can't meet direct and do it all alone, but if you could do just that, bring a meet to Denmark and
Hmm.
then you bring in some international stars from Europe because they're close, the nations are close. So you bring them in. You have to have Danish brands involved for sponsorship is amazing. And if during like in that meet, you have local Danish lifters, even if you have a prime time for the people you bring in a daytime for the locals, those local people, the experience, this is how you're going to grow it. And
Exactly.
I love how you said, I want to bring for them what I never had.
It's
That's
for the
when you know you're
people.
doing, that's right. That's when
Yeah.
you know you're doing something. That's when you know you're like, what would I have liked to have had when I was on the come up?
Mm.
And when you bring that, that's it, man. You're using your platform for good to expand.
I'm trying, and I'm really trying to make something great out of this. And it's not only a one-time thing, hopefully. If this goes just half as good as I expect it to go, this is going to be a long time thing. It's going to be great.
Um, in terms of what do you think else we could do on a global sense to increase popularity of powerlifting?
There gotta be uh more sponsors involved. There gotta be more high profile people involved. Um, there's got to be like more things like Sheffield, and I know they're trying to create that with the SPD Austin, the Evancus meet, all these things. So as we said earlier, it's going the right direction. But I just gotta think we gotta nudge that up just a bit more. And everything good takes time, right? It's not that you can just magically poof, uh, do a meet like that. Um, but yeah, we gotta keep doing what we're doing, and then we gotta. I think we without going too much into the politic side of stuff, we got to give the athletes just the right amount of freedom in terms of them competing and stuff.
I agree. The competitions for sure. We already talked about earlier in the podcast
Mm,
some ideas that are creative that we haven't seen to maximize competition. Competition is it. If you have head to heads, that's huge. Also, we have some markets that are mature and they've been probably I don't know if I would say maxed out, but
mm,
mature, we'll say. And there's other markets that are not yet totally exploited for how mature they could be and how big they could be. For instance, I don't got to tell you, Denmark. Well, how many more people? But there's other nations like that where we could expand a certain Asia. Let's expand. There's talent all over the world. And if you're
yes,
maxed out in certain places, this is the beauty of being a true global sport. Look at, I'm from Canada. Hockey's big here. Hockey ain't never going to be big in South America. Hockey ain't never going to be big in Africa. Hockey, it is what it is, right? Um, but powerlifting,
I have a point to that, like with the
okay,
hockey
go
thing,
ahead.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
We just
go ahead.
there was just did you see the World Championships in hockey?
Um, which one was this? Is this the Four Nations
If
one?
it, I'm not sure what it was, but I was invited by a sponsor into like a World Championship game. It was like
What?
because it was held in Denmark.
Oh
So
wow.
it was what were we watching? I think we were watching like Denmark versus I think it was Canada. I'm pretty
No way.
sure. Yeah, it was Canada. Denmark got beat, but miraculously they actually got to I think it was the semifinals.
Wow,
Such a small
really?
nation, and yeah,
Dude, that's good. I mean, listen, Denmark is really close to like Sweden, which are huge into hockey. Like, I'm not. there's certain nations that it's going to behoove them because of the winners, etc., and just the
Mm.
culturally speaking, hockey is huge around Denmark, so it kind of makes sense that Denmark would be leaning into hockey. But whoa, buddy, I rem- in the Four Nations tournament won't divert us too much. Don't worry in terms of turning
No,
into a
no,
hockey
no,
podcast. I'm not a big hockey
no.
guy, but in the Four Nations tournament, Canada and America were like, due to political reasons, with some of the things that President Trump was saying, we're going to turn Canada into a 51st state, and like just like going at us, disrespecting Canada, which I didn't take too serious anyways. But they were talking about
No, no,
annexing
no.
Canada and blah blah blah. So it was
Yeah,
tense, right?
yeah,
And that is surrounding this hockey tournament. And in the first 3 minutes of the hockey game between Canada and US, there was three fistfights, and then US won that game. But there was multiple games in this tournament, and
yeah,
America let Canada know, like, we beat you at your game, because hockey's known as like Canada's game. We beat you at your game, blah blah blah. And Canadians were like, tournament ain't over. Hold up, you're celebrating a little early. And when Canada won the tournament and we beat America, it became like, with that environment, huge. This is where sport becomes elevated due to it. And, like, you can
yeah,
rally a nation. That's why individual is great. But if you're on the fringe sport, if you can make it nation versus nation, people don't need to necessarily know everybody within your sport. They just got to root for their nation, turn it on and root for, and that is legit. It's real. It happens all the time. We see it rally nations together. That's why I love money meets when it's individual versus individual, but that's also a benefit of powerlifting if you ever keep it. For instance, my idea earlier, not my idea, but I echoed the idea of USA versus the world. Even if you're going to do something different, you want to do a
mm,
money meet, do it like that. Or USA versus Europe. It works. It works to
yes,
expand and people to hear about it and be like, oh, that's interesting. Let me tune into that.
yeah, yeah. Make it a little bit more about the nationality, like it is in other sports. I like that.
I'm telling you, man, when the Olympics are on, what do? You tune in to see if is there somebody from your nation in the mix.
Exactly. Yes.
And you're going to cheer for them regardless. It's just an
Yes.
easy buy-in. It's an easy buy-in. Then once you buy in, now you know who's who. Now you know your background story. But before you ever get that far, the easiest of buy-ins is to do that. All right, I got a couple personal questions for you now, sir. As we look
Let's
back
go.
at 2025, what is the highlight for you of 2025? It doesn't have to be powerlifting related, but it can be, and you can have a couple highlights. But when you look back at the year that was, what are your highlights?
Um, 2025 has been a year with a great amount of opportunity for me. And I've really been growing both sports-wise, powerlifting-wise, but also just business-wise and all these different things. I've been traveling a lot and I've really been enjoying myself this year. Um, Very hard to give you a specific highlight, but if I have to say one at the top of my head, it would probably be Costa Rica, uh, because it was like the competition, right? And afterwards, there was like a whole vacation with my girlfriend where I just felt like uh, it was paradise, man. It was great. Yeah.
Seeing you on vacation, dude. You guys look like you were having the time of your life.
Yeah, it was absolutely great. Like it was fantastic.
The one of the biggest benefits of commentating at the World Championships is the fact that it changes every year, and I get to see the world, man. Like the last 10
Yeah,
years I've been doing this, and well, 2026 will be 10 years. And frig, dude, I'm like the luckiest man in the world. Like the amount of the world powerlifting has taken me all over, man. And it's doing the same for
yeah,
you. You're at all these world championships, junior and open. You get to see the world as well. It's freaking, dude, it's a blessing. I can't believe you
yeah,
at your age seeing as much of the world. Some people don't. I've talked to people in their 30s and 40s, and they don't even have a freaking passport, man. It'll
yeah.
freaking break your heart. It's like, what are you doing? There's a whole world out there. The world is big and life is short. What are you doing?
Yeah, I was also in Japan for like 3 weeks, well, a little
That's
more
right.
than
Yeah,
3 weeks, and spent time with my grandma and got to experience some more of Japan. That was also a very good highlight for me.
so you know
Um,
what's your background again?
I'm a quarter Japanese, quarter Greek, and half Danish.
That's right. I remember last time you saying, dude, which built a freaking superhuman, by the way. One part Japanese, one part, yeah.
I
No
gotta
shit.
thank you. I gotta thank you for the compliment you gave me on the podcast with Joey. That was amazing.
Yeah,
Damn.
dude, I love that you made it real one time too. I remember you made it real with like some of my
Yeah,
commentary and yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But so your grandma still lives in Japan.
No, she doesn't. She lives here in Denmark, but because of some sickness and stuff, she has to travel to Japan frequently to get renewal of
Mm.
medicine and checkups and stuff.
Dude, that's one part of the world. I've never been to Japan. I got to go to like more parts of Asia. That's one part
Can
that I
you
haven't.
can you
I
talk
got it.
to the higher ups in the IPF and be like, oh, we need to have a world championship in Japan?
Yeah, yeah. I wish, man. I wish. I mean, I'm sure at some point we'll end up there. We've had bench worlds there. I'm sure there will be a three lift, but I love history and like visiting old like ancient buildings and civilized. I
Uh-huh.
love research, like seeing documentaries of old civilizations. The whole Japanese culture with samurais and the whole nine is freaking. I love it. And then
Uh-huh.
on top of that, I'm a foodie. I love food from around the world. There's another thing that I can't get is when people they only like specific foods and they don't like ethnic foods from all over the world.
No,
They
no,
just
no.
eat the food that they grew up with. I'm like, I don't relate to that at all.
No, no.
Like I love food from all over the world. Um,
Well,
so
Japan
yeah.
will be the place for you, I think. It
Oh
will
dude.
be, you will love that.
I love sushi, the whole nine. In Canada on the West Coast. West Coast is semi close to like it's closer to Japan anyways. And there are
Mhm.
some legitimate Japanese chefs that'll end up in the West Coast and you have like legitimate Japanese cuisine and it my man, it's freaking amazing. like it's amazing. It's like nothing you'll have
Yeah,
elsewhere if
yeah.
you can get it. How about this? Looking back at your 2025, is there a regret or anything you wish you could redo?
No, no regrets. No regrets at all. I have my fair share of competitions. I gained my fair share of experiences, but as talked about in the start, I still feel like each competition was not perfect, and I have room to grow everywhere. So I'm just excited for next year and to see what's going to happen at Euros and Open Worlds.
And I'm glad you said Euros because I don't want the esteem and credit behind Euros to sag at all. I was from a time when the European Championships didn't have the credibility that it does, and
Mhm.
now you have world champions. You have guys like Shell Becklin will be at the European
Mhm.
Championships, or like a Penna or a Leah or what Turbo Tiff or whatever, right? But due to scheduling, and the scheduling is getting reshaped in 2026, but due to scheduling, we started missing some of the stars would opt out of Euros due to
Mhm.
whether it was Sheffield or their nation's nationals or worlds or whatever. The schedule is too tight. And I think it's important that the European Championship remains strong and some of the biggest
Uh-huh.
stars in Europe keep going there. Like
Yes.
Sonita or whatever. I'm not going to go down the whole list, but there's so many good Europeans now that are world class, and I don't want it to lose its
Yeah.
esteem. So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad that they're trying to reshape the schedule to make it so that you know these you don't have to pick either or. You can have go through the entire schedule and have it. But
No.
anyways, what looking forward to 2026 for yourself? What are some of the goals you have?
When is this coming out?
Uh, I'm going to drop this probably not this Monday, but the following.
Okay, okay. My goals are same as last year. but I guess just taking it to another level, taking more accountability of growing the sport here at home. But also just on an individual level, do my best at my training sessions, each and every one of them. Grow my partnerships even greater, and keep showing up, man. Yeah.
I mean, at 22 years old, with everything you're doing in terms of trying to popularize powerlifting in Denmark, doing the meets like you're talking about, bringing in sponsorships, bringing in international lifters, and giving local lifters the opportunity to lift alongside them, meet them in person. I've seen it with Silent Worker, what Penna and them do, bringing in these international stars like Petrie, Jurens, Emil, whoever, like all of them. Or even
Hmm.
just people like Sanita who aren't even lifting, but just going there, shake hands, and be there available. And what that does to increase the popularity of powerlifting inside of France over the years has been huge. You doing the same thing for Denmark, I'm telling you, dude, it's big. And you're only 22 with those kind of ambitions.
I'm
Can't be
23
under
though, but
23. Sorry. Okay, I
no,
take it
no, it's
back.
fine.
You're an old man. It's all changes everything. No,
Uh,
but seriously, at 23 years old to be doing this, it's huge, man. I can if you do this year after year over year, and you could bring in some of the bigger stars from around Europe, even if they're not lifting, just be like, come on out, please. Shake some hands, help grow the sport. The local people in the day sessions and whatnot, it means something, man. You will do something. I've seen it happen in France at a grassroots level, what Penna did, and it'll work, man. Um, but yeah, you're on the right path, man. I hope you hit all your goals, both athletically and as well as what you're doing with powerlifting. And I love your social media, dude. You're tapped in. You know what's going on. You know what
I
hits.
appreciate
You're
you, brother.
crushing it. You're crushing it in terms of social media, my man.
Well, I'm
Um,
trying.
you're doing good. But anyways, thank you for coming on the podcast, my dude. I'll let you go. Stay up on your training. Will you be at Sheffield?
No, not this time
Ah,
around.
darn it, darn it. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm sure I'll see you at the World Championships. Good luck in training, man. Keep pushing. I can't wait to see you at Euros. I can't wait to see where you post up in 2026. The 105 class is one of my favorite classes. So, I mean, and you guys are absolute
Me too.
monsters. Yeah, yeah, I bet. But thank you for coming on the podcast. And for everybody listening, as per usual, please do subscribe, give us high ratings. And until next time, six pack Lapadat, six up, and we are out.